What's up guys, Slimer4 here, bringing you a replay between Yellow Glava at the top side of Wishbone in the red, and JeremyCorbyn in the bottom as blue, and we're on that Wishbone. So this should be a fun little game. See what builds these two players are going to be going for. It looks like both opening just standard house. Jeremy's putting his house up here to make the wall. Glava's just building standard wall off area. Kind of prefer Glava's SimCity to be honest, but this kind of gives you a really... Oh, I see he's going Rax. That makes a little more sense. So it looks like we'll have a nice little Rax versus Beast game. And this should be pretty fun. Wishbone is a map where I don't think I've ever gone a Rax opener on, but I've been playing almost exclusively Beast lately, so don't really have much experience how this map plays out. I feel like it's a fairly short rust distance, so you can put a little bit of pressure on as the Rax player. Your natural is a little exposed for sure, so you're definitely gonna have to build the Rax player's gonna have to build quite a few units before he puts his castle down. That could give the Beast player a small advantage in that way. So Jeremy's gonna sack this worker, it looks like. Okay. Glava's just going to ignore it, kill him with his second wolf. It is going 2 wolf into a castle. Whereas Jeremy's just continuing his soldier production here. He really should be working on this worker with that wolf. It's a bit of a mistake in my opinion anyway. So he's opening 2 soldier, then archer. And if we look at the units tab, Jeremy had 1 worker because Glava had to cut at 9. And it looks like Jeremy's just going to max out his supply before he moves to take that expansion. He's almost on the goal here, but he still needs... what happened to his second soldier? Thought he had a second soldier. Oh, there it is. So he's just going to move down and take this. YOLO doesn't really have enough wolves to really pressure this, I don't think. So that expansion is definitely going to go down. But he's still going to have this gold advantage, which is we're probably going to see in a second. He's going to start pulling away in that gold count as his workers start mining, and he gets that double worker production going. He's going to actually put some pressure on. And he's going to get the worker. So that's really good for Glava. He actually probably could have even engaged that fight and sent 1 wolf at the end there. And he doesn't lose a wolf. So that's a very excellent. And again, that's just really giving him a massive gold advantage here. And I guess we're all wondering who this mysterious JeremyCorbyn is. I think he's currently top of the ladder, Division 2, with a really sick win-loss record. So I've not played him. I don't know if he's a smurf or anything, but he seems to be pretty good. That golfing APM, I don't know what Clive's talking about. Alright, so both teams have got their expansions going up here, and Glava's going for a very fast werewolf den. He's got a little force here of 8 wolves. He could maybe put a little engagement on here, but yeah, I don't know. He could probably put some pressure on. He'd force worker pulls maybe. And Corbyn's adding on his 3 Rax production here. He's still only operating off of 30 supply, so he's going to have to add a house very soon. In fact, I would have probably added a house before the 3rd barracks, but this works out. This fast werewolf is going to be pretty tricky. If I were Glava, I would probably take the third. Oh, this is a nice little fight, I think. He's going to be able to pick off this soldier. Nice wolf micro. He could probably pick off this archer a few micros. No, good micro from Jeremy. He's going to pull back to his mineral line. But he's still going to take quite some damage on these archers. And still no wolf losses so far from... oh, there's his first wolf loss. But that was a very excellent engagement. Go back to income. That was an excellent engagement from Glava there. He's only dropped 2 wolves. He's killed a worker and a soldier. And he's actually put some pretty decent damage on these units, so they'll be weakened later on. And at this point, he could probably throw a pretty solid counterattack into the expansion. He can pick up this worker. Oh, almost got this round. Jeremy's going a very heavy archer style here, which is actually, I don't think that's ideal. I think if Glava was just building a lot of wolves, he would be able to overwhelm this force with just wolves. But Glava's taking this middle expansion, I also noticed. When I play, I almost always take this expansion, but this is interesting because you kind of have this, I don't know. This one feels like almost a more secret expansion. I sometimes only scout here and I don't scout here. But it feels like so much closer to the middle of the map that I'm uncomfortable taking that one. Anyway, we got a wolf engagement coming over here, and it looks like the wolves are getting really pushed back here by these archers. And you can see in the units lost tab, all those archers are now dead. But Glava's got a werewolf popping out in a second here, and that's going to really change things. He should get good rally it into his mineral line so these guys don't walk around it. Probably worth it to wall off this section of the map. Now, we can see here that Jeremy is kind of floating a bit of money here. He really should throw down a house. And this werewolf should just push these guys away. And this third is going to come up without any contestation. So that's excellent. And yes, it looks like Jeremy's going to go throw down his castle there. Excellent. Very correct, and these units are going to get cleaned up. Really, I think as soon as she saw the werewolf coming out, he might have tried to escape with those units because they're always going to die trying to engage that guy. And let's see what Glava's next move is going to be. It looks like he's just going to add more werewolves on, more wolves. Adding a second den there for more wolf production. No upgrades and no other tech being added on so far. Jeremy's getting that third base up, and if you look at the units tab here, Glava needs to add a few more workers on. He's at 21, whereas Jeremy's at a full 20. And he doesn't quite have his third up, but so far pretty even in economy, and Glava is adding on more workers, so he'll pull ahead in a bit. And he's also adding on the castle there, and we have a forge pulling in for Jeremy. So for this position, I like the beast player with these werewolves, especially without any upgrades coming in on the archers. And it looks like he's going to transition into dragons, which is definitely okay. And he's so heavy on archers, I feel like adding a heavy wolf count would really start working. Like, just engaging with these wolves, already adding, look at these wolves wrecking this archer here. And the archers are going to have to start kiting away from the werewolves. I feel like he sent his wolves in a little too soon there, like he could have waited a little bit. And now the archers can kind of kite the werewolves away. So I feel like he needs to keep working on his wolf production there. Like, he's got plenty of supply. He could really put a lot of that supply just straight into wolves. And Jeremy is now adding in soldiers too. Not sure if I love this engagement from Glava at the moment. He's going to be probably losing these wolves. Or these werewolves. And if we look at the units tab, Glava's still got a small worker advantage, but just a little bit, and both teams have pretty vibrant economies going on here. Bit of an upgrade advantage from Jeremy over here. And these werewolves do get cleaned up, so that's a pretty nice victory for the Rax player. Do we have Dragon Slayers going down? No Dragon Slayers. Oh wait, there's one Dragon Slayer going down at the moment. What I like to do in this position, whenever I get werewolves out, is add a single church and just get 2 priests with invisible, or even just 1 priest with invisible. And invisible werewolves really can cause a loop, at least give you at least one really strong attack before he starts getting detection out. Maybe Glaba doesn't want to force workshops though, because he's already thinking about his dragon transition. So Jeremy's going to be slightly ahead in the upgrade battle. And that's the second werewolf then. So Glaba's really committing to werewolf tech here, and that +1 armor is going to be very far behind +1 attack of the Rax player, but not a big deal. He has worked his wolf count up to a much larger number, but he's only got one werewolf going down. If we look at the supplies here, both are at 70, so this is gonna, well actually, Glaba just got up to 80, but this is going to favor the Rax player in general, because each of his units costs 2 supply, and all these wolves are not really that supply efficient, especially as the game gets towards later game with negative upgrades. And Jeremy's doing the right thing here. He's checking all the expansions, looking for that 4th, and he's also going to take 4th for himself soon. I think Glaba should definitely be looking to take his 4th ASAP, because as you can see, he's already supply blocked. He's going to need to be building that supply anyway. And I don't really like this, how he's going up to 100 off 3 bases. I feel like that's a lot of extra gold you're going to have to spend on houses, because that makes your 4th base, you know, full cost instead of giving you that extra supply. Do we have any transitions coming up from Jeremy? Yes, we do. He's going to be throwing down catapults, which is very correct. Catapults are a good way of dealing with werewolves, although I'm not 100% sure if that's the best solution, because I feel like catapults are so supply intensive that if your opponent is getting dragons on the field, you could have issues. But we'll see. Obviously, catapults are very good counters to werewolves. Meanwhile, looks like Glaba has forgotten his +2 armor there. And also, I think he should be throwing down at least another dragon's... I mean, he really needs a 4th base, but I would say you need another dragon's lair, because at the moment he's pretty maxed out. How I like to play Beast versus Rax is get like a couple dragons, a couple werewolves, and a couple priests, and then you try to snipe dropships with the dragons, and then use the werewolves and the priests to clean everything else up. But it looks like Glava's going for just straight up kind of maxed out Beast force here, but I'm not sure. See, Jeremy's only on 80 supply, whereas Glava's all maxed out here, but these wolves, you know, are going to have a little bit of trouble. He's getting wolves flanking down in the back. I'd like him actually to run all these wolves right to the archers, because wolves fighting soldiers isn't going to help him at all. But these werewolves are really strong, and at the moment Jeremy doesn't really have an excellent counter to the numbers of werewolves that Glabas has. And he's just going, he has so many dens, he can really max out the his wolf production. So like even losing these wolves, not a huge deal. You can see he's keeping very strong on the supply. Jeremy's up to 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 barracks, so he doesn't even have that much great remaxing potential. You can see he's already floating a little bit of money here. And this fight is going excellent for Glaba. Despite being down an upgrade, he's still got just an excellent force here. And from this position, he can start adding on a few more dragons, cause quite a few headaches. I'd be happy if he started to target those workers right there. Excellent. Now, even though these catapults are out, he's lost so many units that even these catapults are probably not going to do that much at this point. This big wolf flood is going to cause big issues. He really needs to get those wolves flooding. By the way, Jeremy does have his tower upgrades. That's pretty good. It's going to make it a bit harder for the Beast player to put pressure on. And he is getting that +2 armor, so pretty soon they're going to be equal on armor, or on upgrades in general. And Yellow's just adding more dens. I would really like to see a second animal testing lab and a 5th base for and a couple towers. I feel like towers become extremely important in the late game, and especially I would say Glaba could probably get the tower upgrade here. But he's in a fairly decent position. If you look at the units tab, he's up at 31 workers, so he's got excellent income coming in. He's mining there from the 4th base, so he's even got better efficiency than Corbyn does. So if we look at the income, he's sitting up there. He's ahead about what is that? 1k gold, which is not really huge, but he's also pretty even in the resource loss tab, so definitely got a good position. Now this is nice. Now that Jeremy has got this catapult force going, he's putting a lot of pressure down on the gold mine there. And so that really is going to be not so great for the beast player here. I really think he needs another... I would like to see more dragons in this composition. I feel like 2 dragons is not... I mean, I feel like 2 dragons is okay, but I feel like having 5 would be like an ideal number. 4 or 5 would be my ideal dragon count. I think it's just a little too many wolves, in my opinion at least. I think these wolves are going to get wrecked. This positioning is super good by the beast player. Look at how fast those wolves got killed by these catapults. It's brutal. He's doing a good job with his target fire with the dragons. And now he's got one of the werewolves right up in the face of the enemy force. But still, these archers are doing great. The positioning on the archers is just excellent. Putting on, can you get the cat? Come on, get the catapult. There we go. Gets the catapult. But now the beast player is completely maxed out, and as you can see, Glava's just flooding wolves. That's his game plan, it seems, right now, is just flooding wolves. I really wish he had another testing lab to really pump those upgrades. Corbyn's just going to get his +3 in a second here. He's also throwing down an offensive towers, kind of like that. Good dragon micro from Glava, but he's eventually going to lose them to these archers. And this is really hard. I mean, trying to flood... He needs to gather his wolves up, because he's just setting them in and they're just getting wrecked. He needs... I don't know what he needs at this point. He needs to pool his units. He's at 79 supply, so he needs to max out too. He doesn't have to worry so much about losing his base, it's more about his army. That's the problem. Like, repair. No, he's just gonna... He should probably just run these workers, get him over here. He's got decent income still. As he is still 1 base ahead of his opponent, but his army is what he needs to find a way to kill. His solution at the moment is going to be just wolves. He's pretty much maxed out on wolves here, but these catapults are going to cause so much trouble for his wolves. It's going to be painful. He's also got he's not upgrading there. It looks like +4 is on the way for the Rax player. Glava does not have the tower upgrade, so these towers are just going to be pretty much useless in this position. And Corbyn's also taking the map with his own tower, so pretty good positional play from Corbyn here. He's got a very strong composition with Catapult Archer, and he's just going to be... Now, this would be an excellent time to counterattack. Like, he could just send these wolves in to tank the tower damage and have the dragons focus down the workers. But it looks like he's going to try to engage the army instead. Glava, that is. And he's going to focus down 1 tower. You can see these +0 attack wolves are just having so much trouble pushing down the tower there. And these wolves are just getting melted by the archer fire. I mean, they're derping around, they can't get good surface area, and they're just getting wrecked. And there's half, like, Glava's entire supply just gone. And this is why I say wolves are not good late game. I mean, even against archers, like, technically wolves are supposed to counter archers, but this mass archer force is just wrecking everything. And Glava's forced to tap out. Just, I would say, incorrect composition from Glava. He put way too much money into building dens. He only had a single dragon's lair, and he really didn't use the dragons as much as he could have to target workers down and stuff. And he didn't get a church, which, in my opinion, is like necessary for a beast player late game. And he didn't really build as many werewolves as he could have. Like, for me, it's either getting priests out, or you want to get like a mid-game timing with dragons and wolves, Or I think you could also perhaps transition to catapults yourself. Catapult werewolf is fairly strong because catapults are pretty good against archers. But just staying on wolf tech is just, the wolves get completely melted. You saw those wolves just getting wrecked by the archers over in this fight earlier, and then in the final fight over here, especially with these towers, with their tower upgrade just wrecking everything. So an excellently well played game from JeremyCorbyn. Not surprised he's top the ladder, to be honest, and just very well played, very methodical Rax play on Wishbone. Even though he was slightly behind in gold at times, he just was able to win out with excellent cost efficiency. Alright guys, hope you enjoyed that video. Don't forget to like and comment. If you have any replays you'd like to send in and have me cast, just send it in to slimer4@gmail.com. And with that said, I'll catch you later.